gatekeepers of our soul. Pretty powerful words. But these are just words here. We have a very powerful person called Reverend Joanne Boruck, and she's going to come up here and she is going to give a power talk on reflections of love.
Wow. Guess what I see? I see reflections of love. So good morning. Good morning, love. Welcome to this beautiful morning, to this beautiful center, to this beautiful world. In beauty and peace, I invite you to join me in an opening affirmative prayer treatment. If you choose, you can close your eyes. Otherwise, just allow your body to surrender to this moment. With a grateful heart, I speak these words. There is only one power, one love, and it is beautiful. And so am I, and so are you. We are a reflection of God's love and power in the world. Spirit shines through us as us. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of Spirit on earth. I affirm this truth for all those who claim this as their own, who are open to being a reflection of love, either here in these chairs or those watching online. Make the decision. There are no coincidences. You are here for a reason. You are here in the right place at the right time to be love. Today, I am a mirror to each person I meet, and they are a mirror to me. I affirm and know I am kind and loving, and when I look into the eyes of another or at myself in the mirror, I see who I truly am. At the core of my being, I see kindness and love, for that is what the world is craving right now. So it is my honor to be that. With loving thanks for all those here this morning, for this teaching and all teachings of the great master teachers, I let this go knowing it is already done. My heart and mind are open to being an instrument. And together we say, and so it is. And now let us sit in a quiet moment of reflection to send loving thoughts and prayers to all who need to know they are loved and loving. Today I include Colton, my children and grandchildren, my siblings, Nicole and Denali, and each one of you. Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay? Perfect. Because, when you're wearing that headset, it's a little big for me, and I don't like how it looks online, so I made the decision I'm using this microphone. Hallelujah. And it's got it's some power to it. So our theme this month is called Gentle Giantness. And, it's so funny because when I think about gentle, I kept telling myself giant gentleness because you think about the friendly giant. And that's what I was thinking about. I wasn't thinking about gentle giant. I should have been thinking about giant gentleness. Wow, that gives us a whole different meaning. A gentle giant's great. But to be giantly gentle with yourself, that's it. And I wondered, what does that mean, giant gentleness? Well, this is what I understand. We are reflections of each other. And as we cultivate gentleness for ourselves, we begin to recognize love. Love expressing itself as the others in our lives. This month we remember gentleness. It's such a powerful thing. And now let us look at love of self and others through gentle eyes. And wherever you are on your journey, if you're just starting to awaken to spirituality, if you're way on your way to spirituality and you just need a boost, you feel like you're at a crossroads, or you're highly enlightened, you've reached nirvana, those are the people the world needs. So start sharing that love. I'd like to open with a poem, and I'd like you to be present and use it kind of as a meditation. It's a poem by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And it was written in the 19th century. And it's called, How Do I Love Thee? So let's just close our eyes and make these words our own to ourselves. And silently say your name as I do, Joanne. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight. For the ends of being and ideal grace, I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need, by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee purely as they turn from praise. I love thee with the passion put to use in my old griefs and with my childhood faith. I love thee with a love I seem to lose with my lost saints. I love thee with the breath, smile, tears of all of my life. And if God chooses, I shall love thee better after death. I searched for that kind of love for a long time. And you know what? You know where I found it? In my own heart. I'm it. I am the love I've been looking for. And you can interpret that poem in your own way. But I really like to take everything and understand it at a metaphysical message. Because metaphysical means something outside your physical self, outside your mental, spiritual self, and something greater. So I broke this down. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight. Wow, that's unconditional. That's infinite love. For the ends of being and ideal grace, I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need by sun and candlelight. In the dark and in the light, in the good and in the bad, I love you still, Joanne. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee purely as they turn from praise. I don't need you to be anything. I don't need you to do anything. I simply love you. I love thee with the passion put to use in my old griefs and with my childhood faith. With the innocence of a child. Without questioning, I love you. I love thee with the love that I seem to lose with my lost saints. Although I am taking a spiritual path, I love you more than ever with my spiritual understanding. I love you. I love you with the breath, smiles, tears of all of my life, reaffirming unconditional love. And if God chooses, I shall love thee better after death. death is just another experience, well, I'll be able to continue to love myself. Wow. You know, that poem really moved me on so many levels. And I would love, oh, there's that word again. I would love it if you could say those words to yourself. David, can you take one of those and pass the basket on beside you? I'm handing out these words. I have this poem for you, and you can take it with you and use it in your relationships with yourself and others. And may it heal and show you the truth of your being. Well, now that we're entrenched in love, a reflection of love, guess what? Everyone is your mirror. Everyone is your reflection. And the greatest relationship secret that you'll ever need to know to transform every relationship is that everyone is here for a purpose. When I look out and I see all that love, and I'm so happy to see you, Dustin, I just love you. He's so special to me. When I look out and see all that love, I can't help but be filled with purpose. And I have to tell you that you go through times in your life, I don't have this written, but I sometimes feel I'm at a crossroads, like I'm at a Y. And I wonder why it's called a Y. Maybe it's because you ask yourself, well, why would I turn left or should I turn right? And what now? And I was talking to a few people out there, and I think that's a common question. What now? It doesn't matter how much knowledge you have, how spiritual you are, it always comes down to love. I think love is the bridge. It's the bridge that connects you to yourself and to others. Everyone's your mirror. Because they're reflecting back to you what's in your own consciousness. And they're there to help you grow and to change who you are for the better or worse. The qualities you see in others are also part of your own consciousness. And that means even the qualities you dislike. You know what? That's what it means to me when it says, be the change you want to see. Holy crow. Be the change you want to see in the world. We say that. Be the change you want to see in the world. The Dalai Lama said that. But again, the metaphysical meaning, I think, is more than that. Be the change you want to see. Now, isn't that a double-edged sword? As I wrote my whole talk, I realized I was really focusing on all the lessons that we have to learn. And if I often wondered, I don't know about you guys, girls and guys, but it seems like I've only been married twice. That was enough for me. But it seemed like I married the same person. One had glasses and one had a mustache. What was that about? And do you know what that is about? Because I needed to learn something. And so I didn't learn it the first time. So then I had to have somebody else, so maybe I could learn it the second time. I didn't learn it the second time. I didn't learn it until I looked in the mirror and looked at myself and said, you know what? There's a common denominator. It was looking back at me. So understanding that all of my relationships were just the fastest and most powerful route to spiritual growth. I could have saved a lot of time and money if I would have just recognized the gift in that relationship. And everything starts with your belief about relationships. Because sometimes you don't know what mirror you're looking at. And in a lot of my classes, I usually start with, what are your core values? Because you can gauge everything from that. If something's triggering you, you can just tell yourself, well, that's because I value honesty. So if somebody's not being honest with me, I can tell myself, I know what my values are, and I choose to walk away from something that's not in those values. But as I was researching this, I realized that our core beliefs, our core values, they're not just something I created. They come from your childhood. What were your parents' core beliefs? And they grow from there. What was the music you listened to? Did you like to eat with a lot of people or with not very many people? Everything flows from that. So our reflection of love and relationships are related to our core beliefs. And that includes what you heard as a child, the music you listened to, the books you like to read, the relationships you've witnessed in your life with your parents and others. Wow. And anything that moved you emotionally becomes ingrained in you. And I really resonated with that because I think, okay, I don't want to blame my parents, but I have 6 siblings. I saw a lot of, I didn't do it. I don't know who did it. Maybe it was her and maybe it was her. And so, denial seemed to be the best method of getting out of trouble. And so when you're in a relationship and it's not great and you just kind of keep going, I didn't cause that to happen. I'm going to deny this and deny this. And I have been denying things for a lot of my life. Well, I tell you, in the last few weeks, lots of things have happened in my life that said to me, you can't avoid it anymore, Joanne. You have to look in the mirror and you have to say, how do I love thee? And how do I love myself? It's not just going and getting a pedicure or manicure. Do I love myself enough to be honest with myself? Whew, that was a big question. And I don't have any judgment around that. It's just the nature. It's the nature of the positive symphony of your life. And it could also be a symphony of heartbreak. So the common denominator in creating the events that happened in your life is you. But the greatest news is because it's you can change it. Nobody else can. So that was really enlightening to me too. I have spent a lot of time thinking, if I had more this, if I had less weight, if I had more money, if I had more time, if I had more years, holy cow. And so I'm looking at people in the eyes thinking, oh, look at that youth. I have all of that. I have all of that inside of me because I can look in the mirror and reflect whatever I want. I can look at my core beliefs and I can change my experience according to my beliefs. I read once that failed relationships, and this is probably where I got the idea that I was a common denominator. Failed relationships is when one or both partners can no longer stand to see themselves in the other person's eyes. Isn't that crazy? Not realizing that they're staring at a mirror. So we change the teacher and we don't change the lesson. Because your experiences are confirming your beliefs. Your experiences are creating more core beliefs. And when your beliefs determine your outcomes, you start making assumptions. Okay, so I have been going through life thinking that my core belief is truth. And I've attracted a lot of lessons to learn about that. But now I know that my core belief is rock and roll, and I resonate with people who love rock and roll. I love reading nonfiction, autobiographies, self-help. I recognize that in other people. So my belief that my whole journey in this life is to attract truth was just BS. I'm here to experience my own self. All those people that came into my life said, okay, if you can forgive that, and if you can let go of that, then you're clear reflection of love. There's a lady out there, Tanya Costas is her name, and she does a lot of mirror work. And one of the classes that I took years ago on this mirror work, she said to me, you have 3 reflections when you look in the mirror, and you probably don't know that. The first thing you see is your core beliefs. Who are you? And if those things are not positive, like, are you a jealous person? Are you an untrusting person? Or are you a loving person and a kind, gentle person? So that's the first thing you see. And you think that's all you're going to see, but no. Also, what you see is what you believe about other people. The world is full of caring, loving people, or dishonest, untrustworthy, which is just the absence of love. Either way, you see that in the mirror, who you are and who you think other people are. And the third thing you see in the mirror is how you treat yourself. There's so much truth in you teach others how to treat you. So are you treating yourself with giant gentleness? That's a real lesson for me too. In the mornings, before I comb my hair or have my coffee, I'm not too happy with that reflection in the mirror. So maybe I'm going to start with that. When I look in the mirror, instead of, who am I? I'm going to look in the mirror and say, do you love that person? If you can love that person, well, you can love the one that brushes her hair and gets dressed up and puts on mascara. So start with loving that person, that early in the morning person. Because only when you love yourself and those 3 parts of you, who you are, what you believe about others, and how you treat yourself, that's when you're free to love others. Self-love. It's treating yourself with the compassion, the kindness, the acceptance that you want everybody else to reflect to you. Oh, I wish I had more respect. Oh, that's the first thing in the morning. Oh, I respect that messy hair. I respect all of everything that's looking back at me. When you love yourself, you can treat others with that love. And even abundant. If you want to look in the mirror and say, what an abundant day this is going to be. As I started writing this, I had one little phrase. When I looked in the mirror every morning, I said, what small thing can I do for myself today? That was doable. What small thing can I do for myself? Do you know, Ernest Holmes has his greatest phrase. It says, life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. There's only so many ways I can get up here every Sunday and tell you, life is a mirror and reflects back to you what you think into it. I can break it down and tell you that what you think into it is more than your thoughts. It's your emotions. It's your experiences. It's your judgments. So life is a mirror and will reflect back to you, period. So grab a cloth and start cleaning that mirror. Ernest Holmes also says, I cleanse the windows of my mind that it may become a mirror reflecting inspiration from the Most High. I do this not with strenuous effort, but through quiet contemplation, through gently reaching and affirming an inward recognition. I know exactly what to do in every situation. There's an inspiration within that which governs every act, every thought, every certainty with conviction and peace. There is an inspiration within me which governs every act, every thought with certainty and conviction and peace. So as I leave you today, I want you to reflect on those things. How do you recognize your thoughts, beliefs, and judgments? How do you recognize them in your best friend? In this room with all these loved, like people, how do you recognize? It's easy to see yourself in like-minded people, but how do you see it in the person that really triggers you, or the homeless person on the street? Can you see yourself in them? That's love. And how are you gentle with others in your life? Instead of believing that they're this or that. Can you be gentle with their this or that? And how are you gentle with yourself? Because you are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. I am Reverend Joanne, Faith, Peace, and Love, Boruck, and I wish you an amazing, amazing week of reflection. Thank you. Yes, Reverend Tress.
We value.
You value. Oh, thank you.